Good morning. It is 9 o'clock. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'll give everyone a second to get settled in. Let's see, there's people connecting. All right. So it is 9:01, so we're going to go ahead and start with today's session. I know people will continue to sign on, but these videos are always available in our video section of our Facebook page after the fact. So if people miss from the very beginning, they can join at another time and watch from the very beginning. So we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Christina Schaefer. I am one of the on-staff instructors for HAR as well as the social media manager for HAR. Today's Member Focus Monday, we are talking about disappearing media, so disappearing social media. A lot of people don't even understand what that is or know what that is, so we're going to be going over that today, focusing on that, talking about how it can benefit you. So let's go ahead and get into it and get started. So first of all, what is disappearing media? So a few years ago, a little app called Snapchat came out. And many of you may have heard of Snapchat. Some of you may use Snapchat or maybe have used Snapchat. And some of you may have looked at it and said, what is this? This is a waste of time. I'm not going to use it. And that is fine. But what Snapchat introduced to us, as well as other apps like Periscope and things like that, it introduced to us the world of live and the world of stories and media that goes away. So there's a time limit on it. So the appeal, or the initial appeal of apps like Snapchat, was the fact that you could post a story, post a video or a photo, and after 24 hours, that video or photo was gone. So maybe I took a picture, but I don't want this picture to live on my Facebook page forever. I just want it to be a sort of a temporary thing. Well, that's what disappearing media is. So since then, in the last couple of years, the world of disappearing media has changed significantly. Now it doesn't necessarily have to disappear. In some apps, you can actually save your stories. So we're going to kind of discuss that today as we go through it. So you know, which apps have disappearing content? Instagram. We're going to talk a lot about Instagram stories today, and I'll actually do a little live demo of some Instagram stories. We also have Facebook Live. We're actually using Facebook Live today. So to present this to you, I'm using Facebook Live. Now, when you go live on Facebook, you can do it from your desktop or you can do it from a mobile device. And you can do a screen share like I'm doing today, or you can actually be holding your phone or your mobile device and have it in selfie mode. So, you know, there's different ways to do this now. And then also I have Snapchat on there. Now with the Facebook Live, for example, I mentioned that today's video, if anybody missed it from the beginning, you're able to re-watch it after the fact. Well, once I finish this live session, Facebook actually gives me the option to go ahead and post the video up to our Facebook page, or I can delete it. And of course, I always post these up to our Facebook page. So again, it could potentially be disappearing media, right? I can go live on Facebook and then that's it. No, if you weren't there when it was live, then you missed it, right? Or I can choose to share it with my audience after the fact as well. So you have options there. So disappearing media, it's kind of a loose term here because you have the choice to whether you want to make that media disappear or not, okay? So how do these apps work? Basically, all of these apps will allow you to take photos or videos and instantly share them to your followers or with your followers, okay? Facebook and Instagram Live allow you to broadcast to anyone for as long as you want. So Instagram now has a live option as well. We can take a look at that. And all of the posts will disappear after 24 hours. And again, the default here is for them to disappear after 24 hours. But as I mentioned, in some of these apps like Instagram and Facebook, you do have the opportunity to save them beyond that 24 hours. So we'll take a look at that too. So what's the benefit? Kind of what I hear a lot about this is, okay, well, if it's gone 24 hours, then really what's the point? Why should I waste my time on it? is it worthwhile? Well, it does create a sense of urgency. For example, let's say I see that a friend of mine posts on their Instagram story, and I don't know if they're going to save that content after the 24 hours, right? So now I'm wondering, well, maybe I should just watch this right now so I don't miss it. So it does create a sense of urgency with your audience. There's an excitement there, and people are, curious, what are you doing? Because these disappearing media apps, they allow you to share real-time content with your followers, okay? It also grants you the opportunity to become more intimate with your followers. They can see you in a new dimension, and it allows you to share your business and personal life. So there's multiple ways to do this. Now, we talk about this a lot in our Social Media Pro Bootcamp class, which I'll tell you guys more about towards the end. But we talk about sharing not just business, but your personal life as well. And on a lot of these apps, you have the opportunity, or a lot of these different social media platforms, you have the opportunity to do both in a very tactful way. So these stories are just kind of giving a little more insight, right? So getting started with them. Now, of course, if you're not already using Instagram, most of you, I assume, are using Facebook, since you're on a Facebook Live right now. But if you don't have the Instagram app or the Snapchat app, then you can go download those. Now, I'm going to focus more on Instagram today than really Snapchat. The average daily users for Snapchat has gone down significantly since Instagram introduced their stories within their app. And a lot of people still use Snapchat. Mainly, I personally use it more for fun, not so much for business. Like I said, I'm the social media manager for HAR. HAR does have an Instagram account, but we do not have a Snapchat account, simply because I think Instagram can be used more for business than Snapchat in our case. Now, of course, there are a lot of businesses that are on Snapchat, but in the case of HAR, for example, we feel it's best to just stick with Instagram. So first thing you need to do, if you're not already on Instagram, is create your account. This also might be a good time, if you already have an account, to go and just rework your bio, read through your bio. A new Instagram update, they now allow you to put hashtags in your bio. So that's helpful too. So that might be something you want to consider. You can tag accounts. So you see on my bio there, it says social media manager for @HAR members, which is HAR's Instagram handle, at Arthritis HOU volunteer. So I can tag different accounts and things like that in there. Make sure you have your website in here as well. So it might be a good idea to just take a look at that profile if maybe it's been a while since you did it, or if you're setting up a brand new one. Somebody said Snapchat sounds like a legal nightmare for real estate. That could be a good point there, Earl. I guess it just depends on how you use it. All right, so once you've set up that account, or maybe, again, if it's been a while since you've done this, you want to connect with other users. Instagram is actually owned by Facebook, so it's very easy for you to go in there and connect your Instagram account with your Facebook and find any Facebook friends that may be on Instagram that you haven't connected with already. So definitely take a time to do that. If you see when I'm in my profile there, I have a little arrow pointing to that little gear next to edit profile. That's where I can go to click to connect with more users, okay? The previous screen, I just clicked edit profile to get to this screen to be able to update your bio and all of that good stuff there. All right, so then you want to share your profile. So once you create a post, Instagram does allow you to share to other accounts. You can share to Facebook and share to Twitter from Instagram. You also have Tumblr on there. We won't get into Tumblr today. Again, we talk about a lot more in depth about this stuff in our social media bootcamp classes. But you can connect to other accounts there. The two that most people are familiar with are Facebook and Twitter. But by doing that, let's say I share a photo to Facebook from Instagram. Well, it actually shows on Facebook when you do that. It shows that it was coming from Instagram. So somebody might see that and say, oh, I don't think I'm following her on Instagram. Go click on the Instagram link and then start following me. So it allows you to kind of share your profile from there by doing that as well. Okay, so what should I post, right? I mean, that's really on any social media, content is key, right? So what should you be posting once you've set up these accounts and started creating them? So just kind of some do's and don'ts here. Do post what people, want to see. Do share your interests. You are a multi-dimensional person. You're not just a realtor, right? Maybe you're a fitness guru. Maybe you love coffee. Maybe you have a really cute dog you like to share, right? So people, they want to see that. They want to know more about you, right? They want to know who you are, what you do, what your interests are before maybe they even ever sign a contract with you or ever even pick the phone to call you. They're going to start looking you up, right? So don't just share listings and real estate related posts. On Instagram specifically, I think for most people, it's a good idea to try to keep it 50-50, personal and business. Of course, every platform is a little different on how you manage that, but for Instagram, and that's what I think most of you guys would probably use in this case, I think 50-50 is a good way to try to measure. Do portray your brand's vibe. So, if you're quirky, be quirky. If you're funny, be funny. If you're, not funny, well then don't be funny. But what I'm saying is, be yourself, portray your brand's vibe. If you are in luxury, then you should be dressed up in all of your stories, promoting that luxury feel and vibe, right? If you sell, resort and second home, maybe you're in flip-flops on the beach doing a live story, right? Or doing a story. So, portray your brand's vibe. And then don't forget video. Video is extremely important right now with the way these social media platforms have their algorithms set up. It's extremely important to utilize video. So let's take a hands-on look. So I'm going to actually back out of our little presentation here and pull up my phone live for you to see. So you can see this right here. And I'm on HAR's Instagram account. So, most of you might have already used Instagram or are pretty familiar with Instagram. So I won't get into like the details of how to post and all of that stuff. Really, we're here today to talk about the stories and the disappearing media. So if you can see at the very top, if we see these circles across the top of Instagram, these are stories, okay? So I can kind of look through and see stories, and some of you might see familiar faces there. So I can see stories. Real estate is all about location, right? Or at least somewhat about location. You've got the best location here. It's in the very front center. It's the first thing people see when they pull up Instagram are these stories. So what they are, again, it's the disappearing content. So if I click on, I'm going to click on mine really quick, har.com's. So about 20 minutes ago, I did this little boomerang here, and it just, it says going live in 10 minutes, facebook.com/HARfan. So I put that on HAR's story, right? And it's just a little boomerang. You see me circling where I'm going to click start a live video there. You also can see I tagged a location in the top left-hand corner. It says har.com. Always a good idea to tag a location on your stories because this makes it searchable. You can actually... people can actually see this. Anyone who's looking in that Houston story can see it. So you can do that there too. Kevin asked, how am I sharing my phone, computer screens? I can cover that maybe towards the end. That's a little more technical, but well, I can cover that maybe towards the end there, Kevin. So that's, the story that I have there. I can go see, here's an agent who spoke to our YPN group just the other day. You see he tagged Oakland, California there. He's an Oakland realtor. So you can see how that location, it comes up and people can see it there. But also it makes it searchable. So it looks like he's out in the field. I'm not really sure what he's doing there because I'm not able to hear the audio, but we can see where he is, right? So it's not just good for your audience to see where you are, but also the fact that they can search for you in that way. Okay, so how do I do this? So if you see the little camera in the top left-hand corner, if I click on that camera there, you can kind of see where I could take a photo. This is, you guys can see my coffee there. So if I take a photo, if I click that big white dot, that's going to take a photo. Okay, now I have some options. So I can, in the top right-hand corner, click on the letters there and start typing something in, love coffee or whatever the case is that I want to say. I can actually draw on here as well, so I have the option to draw. You also have, if you see the little smiley face to the left of the pencil, you have the option to do different things. So this is where, for example, we have location. I could tap location and put where I am right now. I can mention different things. So if I wanted to mention an account, so if I wanted to mention, you know, at HAR members, something like that, I can mention something there. I can also include a hashtag, you know, like if I wanted to say Monday morning or something like that. So I can do that. You also have different things like these little GIFs or GIFs as people call them. They're just like this little animated graphic. So if I wanted to portray something with that, you can create polls. Polls are extremely popular. So I could say, you know, have you had your coffee yet or something like that, and then put yes, no, and people can say if they've had their coffee or not this morning. Then you also have this little slider. This one's new. You can actually say something like, how much do you love coffee, right? And again, I wouldn't normally talk this much about coffee, but since the photo is about coffee, we can do that. And I can actually change this little emoji. Maybe I want to make it a coffee cup or something like that. Or maybe I want to make it a heart, since I said, how much do you love coffee? And people can actually do a little sliding scale of how much they love coffee. So it's another way for them to kind of give their input and share their little vote there, okay? So you have a lot of options. You can see there's different things like that. I could just put Monday and put that little sad coffee face or something like that. So a lot of options with what you can do there. You also have the opportunity to do video. So let me just flip this around really quick. And I could just have a video of myself. So if I press and hold that dot there, it's going to actually do a video of myself as well. So you have a lot of options with what you can do on the stories. So let's get back into our presentation here. Now, with the stories, let me see if I have questions on this. Danny asked, how much coffee have you had today? Not enough, Danny. Only 1 cup in so far. And Earl asked, is this going to be on Facebook after this live session? Yes, it is. So you'll be able to watch it in the video section. Roxy asked, how did you tag your location? I showed that. Hopefully you got to see how I did that, Roxy. I can pull it back up really quick to show you. Sorry. Okay, so if you see the little smiley face next to the pin there, I can hit that little smiley face and then we see location, and then it actually tries to find where you are, so you can type something in. If you are not actually at that place, you can actually type something in and it'll search for it too. So if you're posting it maybe after the fact or something as well, you have that option. Okay, so again, these stories, I mean, it's prime real estate, right? You have prime real estate right there in the top of Instagram. People see it as soon as they sign on, so it's a really good option for you to have there. Now, something new, while I have this pulled up, I'm gonna go ahead and show it to you. This isn't necessarily disappearing, but it's a new Instagram feature that I think you should at least pay attention to. If you see that little TV there, that is IGTV. So IGTV allows you to share longer videos. So we see, who's this? Desiree Savory. She's sharing, you know, a 3-minute video there. So this allows you to share longer videos there. So again, this is something we talk more in depth about in the Social Media Pro Bootcamp classes, but something to pay attention to, because as with the Instagram stories, you have, you know, short 15-second clip video, things like that. But with the IGTV, you can put longer episodes of things on there. So you can see an hour-long episode of something, even if you wanted to. So lots of options with things you can do there. Okay. So, and when I set up the IGTV, it allows you to create your channel. Again, you can share longer videos, and it's built for vertical. So different platforms are built different ways. You know, YouTube, it's built for horizontal video. Instagram, you know, it's built for vertical. So it's different, and it really makes you think about how you're using your devices to create these videos. You know, maybe I want to be able to share it across multiple platforms, so I have multiple different views going up. So lots of options there on how you can do it. Okay, so let's see what questions that we have. So Rochelle says, is there a limit to the number of seconds that you can record the video? Great question, Rochelle. So with the video, it lets you do 15-second videos. There is an app actually called Storio, which is a really great app to use. What Storio does, and I'm just going to pull it up really quick for you guys to see. Storio will allow you to actually, it doesn't look like I can pull it up for you, but it's called Storio. I can spell it out for you. S-T-O-R-E-O. So let's say I did a Facebook Live, and the Facebook Live was 5 minutes long, but I want to be able to share that across multiple platforms. I want to share it to my Instagram, for example. I can actually upload that video into that Storio app, and Storio will break it up into 15-minute increments. So there are definitely apps you can use in addition to, you know, the Instagram stories and things like that, but or Facebook stories. But this is just, you know, one app that you could use. Now, as far as showing you guys Facebook, let me pull my phone back up for you guys to see. Sorry, I keep flipping back and forth, but it's easier for me to do it this way for you guys. So on the Facebook stories, you see, again, there are those circles right across the top. So prime real estate in Facebook as well. Same idea here. You can hit the plus sign and add your story right there. One neat thing you can do now also in Instagram is after you share an Instagram story, if you see down in the bottom right-hand corner before it goes away there, you see where it says Facebook. So I can actually tap that little Facebook, and it's going to share it to HAR's Facebook story as well, right? So you can, you know, recycle content there if you think that a different audience would see it on Facebook versus sees it on Instagram. Also, next to where it says Facebook, it says highlight. So what you can do now, I mentioned that with disappearing media, it's, you know, completely up to you if you choose for it to disappear. Now, Instagram specifically has highlights. So these are basically saved folders after the fact. So I have a few highlights here: HAR events, professional development, and then hashtag BTS behind the scenes. So maybe I wanted to put this as a highlight into the BTS folder, right, behind the scenes. So now when people go to HAR's Instagram account, even though those stories ended maybe days ago, weeks ago, months ago, whatever the case is, they could actually go back and watch that. So if they wanted to see what's happened at HAR events or things like that, they can actually go through and see that. So we see, you know, event there from 23 weeks ago, it says in the top left-hand corner, right? So, you know, it's completely up to you whether you choose to have this media disappear or not, because you can recycle it and use it at a later time, okay? So, let's see, let me go back and see if there's any questions here that I've missed. Lisa said she's going to be rewatching this a few dozen times. I hear you, Lisa. There's so much to share. There's a lot to it. You know, and of course there's places where you can get some education on it. So I'm going to show you that in just a second. What is the Facebook ratio for person/business posts? Same as IG. That's a great question, Gina. You know, it really just depends on. So if it's your personal account, maybe 80-20, 80% business, 20%. You know, I'm sorry, I said that backwards. 80% personal, 20% business. There's ways to migrate the two. Maybe make a business post, but it doesn't seem so businessy. You know, you can really put a personal spin on it. You know, maybe I'm out showing homes, but I don't want to just say, hey, I'm out showing homes. Maybe I make a post about the Texas heat and showing homes, right? So there's ways to make those business posts not seem so, you know, in your face business, right? But of course your business page is strictly business. So it really depends on, you know, what you're using. On Instagram, I forgot to mention this, but on Instagram, you can, and I would encourage you guys to, so on Facebook, we typically have a personal and a business page. On Instagram, I would pretty much recommend that you use the business Instagram account, but use it as your personal and business. And like I said, that way you can do 50-50 business and personal. Also, it gives you the analytics in the top right-hand corner. We have analytics there, so I can see, you know, my insights, how my posts are doing, things like that. You can't do that with the personal. So if you are using Instagram right now and you have a personal Instagram and you have a great following on it, it's very easy to switch it to a business account. If you go in to edit your profile, you'll see where you can switch it to a business account. So it's easy to do that. All right, so I think I got, oh, here we go. Can a personal IG be converted to business? Yes, it can. So if you go into edit your profile, this one's already a business account, so I can't show you there, but if you go into edit your profile, you'll see where you can update it and make it a business account. Yeah, so you don't lose your followers or anything like that. All right, so let's get back to our presentation here. So I mentioned the Social Media Pro Bootcamp class. You know, in this shorter session, 30-minute session, there's so much to cover. We could probably spend an hour just on Instagram alone. You know, so I do recommend that you guys get some education on this. This is really just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more that we could talk about. If you haven't taken the Social Media Pro Bootcamp class, or maybe you took it a couple years ago, everything changes, right, on social media. I mean, there have been countless updates to our platforms just in the last year, right? So it's a good idea to take this class, or maybe take it again if you've already taken it. Social Media Pro Bootcamp, you do get your SMP, Social Media Pro designation for it. You get 12 hours of continuing education. You can register for it at har.com/edu. We do have a couple coming up. I'm actually teaching one this week at our Bay Area office, which I think is almost full, but we have some at Fort Bend, Central, and Montgomery County coming up as well. And then, of course, we'll be adding more in September through the end of the year. Okay. So do you recommend having a personal and business account or combination account? Gayla asked that question. So for Instagram, you know, really, for what you guys are doing, for what your goals are, as far as social media and Instagram is concerned, as realtors, I think it's best to just have one account. That way you're not worried about switching back and forth all the time. Which account am I using right now? You know, just make that a business account so you get those business insights and opportunities to do things like that and create ads and all kinds of stuff. Does Facebook posts automatically share with Instagram? No, they don't, Robert, but you can do it the opposite way. When you share an Instagram post, you can share that to Facebook. Same thing with the Instagram stories, you can share that to Facebook. Mario asked, where can you get information on Instagram? Like I said, we do have the Social Media Pro Bootcamp class where we talk a lot about it. So we need to create a business IG account using our personal Facebook page or business page. You can do it with either, Kevin. It's up to you, really. Instagram, it will connect to whatever Facebook page that you want it to. So it's completely up to you on that. Nobody really sees that back end, what Facebook page you have your Instagram connected to, really, unless you're sharing from that page. So, you know, it's completely up to you there, Kevin. Okay, so it looks like those are all the questions that we have at this time. Again, I know there's probably a million more questions that you're going to start wondering about. Get some education. Take the Social Media Bootcamp class. We'll do other live sessions like this, you know, at a later time. We can talk more about social media. But also, you know, if there's anything else you'd like us to focus on, these Member Focus Mondays are all about you. So whatever, you know, you think is maybe a worthwhile topic, send that my way. You guys saw my email address at the very beginning. If you missed it, you'll see it once this video is posted. You know, email me if there's something you want me to focus on these Member Focus Mondays. Email me those suggestions so that I can do that and keep providing good content for you guys. All right, so that's it for today. Thank you for joining. I hope you all have a great week. Bye-bye.